Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? And how you doing? What is going on? High fives, fist bumps, elbows, watas, and kiss your mother in the mouth for me. Make sure you wash it out with soap, you fuck. But how you doing? Welcome to F Radio. All up in your ear hole. Nestled like a baby bird, waiting to take flight. I am one of your hosts, StablestSHADY.
What's good, everyone? This is Twiggz Rivera.
I hope you're here to have fun. We're here to have fun. We're gonna have a good time telling you some jokes and learning about each other, because today's topic is going to be about growing up in different generations, raising their young to be who they are or to be who they want them to be, and a lot of bit of personal experience. So I'm not here to judge anybody. We're not judgers, so don't judge me, okay?
You can judge, just leave a comment. So.
Well, leave a comment. If you put any judging, I'm gonna give you a wata.
You might reply back.
Give you the, you see the yellow.
We may feel a little cheeky and reply back.
Give you some of that. Give you a tear after. So thanks for coming. We're gonna get started with my weird childhood, because I'm one of the strong hosts here, so I got to be first to be willing to dive into things deeply. So growing up was very, very difficult for me, I would say, in the least, because racism was very strong but still hidden back then, like during the 80s. So school was very like it is now, I think. Because my son told me a few stories about his school that reminds me of how I grew up a little bit. But it's not as, like I said, out in the open as it was when I was growing up. It's like out in the open when I was growing up is N-word. You can't do anything about it. Like now you can literally get over a fist fight. Like you'll still be in the wrong, but you can get into a fist fight over it.
What do you mean? Like, so they get into fist fights and no repercussions, you mean?
No, you get in trouble for getting into a fight for being called the N-word. So that's how that used to happen. So,
and now they hopefully some things are different, but likely not everywhere. It's not enough.
Yeah, there's some places that are more old-fashioned than others, let's say.
Definitely in like you said, like in hidden, it's hidden in certain comfortable communities. Small towns likely don't have a lot of
I would
exposure.
say comfortable towns, or
Can't isolate everyone, but
isolated cities.
I think talking to as many different people as possible is the only way to develop both spiritually, mentally, as a human. But you shut folks out, and then in the same hand, describe them as if you know them as a matter of fact, and you haven't met any. And then don't see that as hypocritical. It's like it's hard to follow anything else you'll say after that at this point. Because now at that point I feel like you can do mental Olympics to try to justify or make me feel shamed for whichever way for pointing the obvious out.
Yeah.
If I ever was to point something like that out to someone, I'll do it in such a way as not to insult you, just to like be informative. Ignorance is not necessarily a bad word,
Well, that's true, but some people take it as like holy water hitting the demon. You said ignorant to me. What that mean? Like what exactly are you saying when you mean when you say that?
And I feel like that's also like a neutral humbler for everyone. We're all ignorant to an extent.
Yeah,
we are a lot.
Okay. So a lot of stuff. Yeah. Like we don't all know everything. So some people act like they do, but we don't all know everything.
No.
Like I'll say without a shadow of a doubt, I don't know everything. There's a lot of shit I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I want to know.
That's the best part about it. It's good to want to know things, and it's also good to try to learn things. And if you feel like you want to move on, you can move on. Or if you want to dig deeper into it, there's always something to dig deep into.
Why there's some people that raise their kids? I was raised like this, and I had to pick cotton, so you gotta pick something, so you can feel how I felt when I was young. And, like I understand where you're going with that, but like just like these laws, like they have to change with the time because like the same stuff is not happening.
No, it's interesting you bring that up. That's something I hear people complain about the generation, the boomer generation, that apparently, things are easy or handed to people, stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like it's not really a lot to go by anymore.
Yeah, it's
not a lot left over.
The bar has been very much lowered.
Some of us don't even know if retirement's ever possible for us. It gets what's invested, what's taken out. Again, like a episode or two ago that we spoke about the deficit in depth that we're making with the trillions of dollars in stimulus reliefs.
Yes.
I think that's awesome and beneficial as it is right now. In the long run, I'm horrified by that. But anyway, that's not even like a blame game thing. But it's just not seeing each other's sides and being able to work with each other is like. It feels like, is it a sport now to be against something all the time?
Well, I wouldn't say a sport. Like people treat it like it's a way of life. So like it's like just like you breathe. Like if you don't know it, you're gonna die. So
simple, yeah.
Like not everybody thinks like that, but the people that do, they really push the authority.
Right.
And yeah, the people that don't know, you can say it's not fair, which is not, because like you're taking advantage of the people that don't know. But that's the only way to get ahead in that predicament.
Yeah.
Is to, take advantage of the people that don't know, before everything gets saturated, and then you can't do anything because everybody knows everything now.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the internet does. That the internet made it easier to connect people to get that same crowd,
like-minded thinking,
crowd mentality or mob theory.
Yeah, the echo chambers that are built online.
Yeah, so
those things.
Just like you said, if you can make something look so enticing and get somebody to do whatever you want with it, like you make a meme, against something, and everybody just so happen the way the way you made that meme, like they might do something about it, like just because you were who you are, you did what you did, so a lot of people don't understand that. Like certain government officials, presidents, but anyway, like the internet is a very serious place. So if you're not gonna tell the truth and speak your mind, like
it exposed all those cultures within America, those even microcultures that always had the safety of anonymity, right? Like they had that. No one knew that they were practicing or had this like-minded way of thinking, because no one really from outside really came in and challenged that. And if they did, they had the power of a collective group to criticize or laugh them away, right?
Yeah. To shudder the naysayers.
But now, what they were already doing, or what we were already doing, because I'm sure I'm 100% sure we have a lot of our own faults. Recognize them or not as we may. Everyone that exists in every group. But now we're counteracting with each other. We're communicating and seeing that. We've seen people feeling that comfortable even so much more because of anonymity. And because, especially for the most part, there's a lack of repercussion. And that's changing now. But I think the practice of using, like, I don't even want to use the term cancel culture, but I'm going to have to. So just to generalize it in the most general way, I'm just call it cancel culture. They're weaponizing it rather than using it as a true penalizing like tool. You know, I think if someone says something, yeah, they should, depending where they work, if they should lose their job. I guess it depends on what they're saying and nature of what they're doing. And I think there's a quantity of things that should go around it. Should a person definitely be maybe mandated to get some education or something like that? Sure. I don't think, and the way of education, I don't think they should sit with a counselor. I think you should put them like with a complete middle of another country, like live with a completely different group of people, and see how these people probably won't kill you. You'll be all right.
Maybe.
And maybe it'll change your perspective a little bit.
Maybe.
I mean, it depends on how much of an asshole you are.
Yeah,
That's on you too.
that could make you a raging.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
How much of a racist do you have to be? Why did you put me here?
What am I supposed to learn from this?
Oh, you fucking people suck.
You think this is funny? That's a game to you? It's like they take it the wrong way. Some people.
Oh man, you could make a great reality show.
Are you serious?
What? That's good.
Yeah, it's always two sides of a coin. So you always want to be aware of that. So never just take everything.
Yeah.
Never just take everything what people say. Do your own research. Make sure you know what's going on. Don't just be condemning people to hell. And they're innocent, it's weird. It's kind of messed up. But that's been our society forever. Like, which like since back in the days before we had electricity, they been killing people for no reason.
I think that's probably been general society. Yeah, it's like
because they were too smart. Like they probably was the first ones to discover electricity, and it was like, which?
What if that's man's biggest fear is the lack of adversary, right? Not having someone to fear and not having someone to worry about. Maybe that's what causes, like, maybe having no one to do that freaks humanity out so much because they're so used to it. It's like the devil they know that they won't practice it.
That's understandable. Yeah. That's one side of those coins I was telling you about. But then there's the other side that's like, even though you have peace, there's still a lot to do. But if it's just conflict you're looking for, then that's different. So conflict is what put us where we are now. Like in divided, like that's the best way to say it, divided. Because even though we're from different cultures and different walks of life and, raised differently, like, it wasn't always like that, A lot of us were just like the world. A lot of us were more together in bigger groups. Yeah. Now it's less of us in smaller groups.
I mean, there's that theory, right, that humans can only know about 100 people or anything like that. It's like, we're wired for small
groups,
small villages, small groups, and that they think that's why there's a big mess with the internet. I don't believe that necessarily. I don't think that's necessarily true. But I know people do speak something along the lines of those type of things, right? I don't agree with that. I think we're capable. We can't compare. Like, naturally, there's so many reasons why you can't compare us to other primates. It's between speech and being able to have written history and education in that sense of pulling back forth and being able to develop on what our generations have done before us. We're leaps and beyond that. And so to say that we can only know about 100, something like that, because that's what they do, is crazy to me. We build planes and atomic bombs and nuclear energy. We went to space. We're still going to space. We're dropping little machines out there that communicates to all of our little gadgets that we keep in our pockets. That's floating in space. That's junk space that we created so that we can, magically speak to people across the globe,
Yeah, there's and the human body itself is an amazing thing. Because, like, I've heard about this person. I don't remember the gender exactly or the country, but this person remembered everything. So like no matter what they read or if they went somewhere, or
Is that like Rain Man?
yeah, it's kind of like that. But they, was like a regular like banker.
Oh, okay, okay.
But they could literally remember everything. So he not only is he remembering all the money he counted that day, he remembered exactly what he ate, exactly what time it was. Like he'll be the perfect witness for anything.
Yeah, I met some older folks that like that.
Yeah,
they
like
know everybody's names.
It's ridiculous. Like there's some people out there like that, but don't expect the world to be like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Memory's a special kind of talent.
yeah, that is. Because me, I used to.
That was okay.
Well, all right. My memory was always garbage. I'm not gonna say I remember stuff. My memory was always garbage, but like I think it got a little better than what it was for some reason.
Yeah, no, likely. I can't remember.
Yeah, it got a little better after I started figuring out what happy trees were and what 420 really meant, and how it really helps you, how it really helps it grow as a person, and how it really teaches you about life and the circle and the joys of giving.
Yes.
So as long as you remember, as long as you can remember, happy trees is for you and me. Like you can't go wrong. Like it can't be harmful.
Anything that makes you happy and calm and nice, ultimately,
and
makes you
very
think about
useful.
things.
Very useful.
Yeah.
It could be used. It could be used to make clothing. It could be used to make.
I heard they get weevils.
Yeah, you can make wheels.
No. The clothing gets weevils.
Oh,
No.
does it?
Yeah.
Really? And there's no way to stop that.
I mean, we gonna put a pesticide tracker in there. Like, how do you
Man.
get one of those like buzzy things that people plug in the walls?
Oh man.
Keep it-
Well,
that
that's not
close.
gonna be good. That's
Yeah.
not gonna be good for the t-shirt business. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you can probably make hats out of it.
But you could probably make some solid
Rope.
rope. You can make some solid rope, or some
Rope.
shoes, or some aglets.
What's that?
Aglet. The shoelace, the tip of the shoelace.
Oh, is that what that's called? There's a name for that shit?
Oh man.
You talking about a little plastic piece?
Yeah, little clear tippy.
Yeah, that's what I called it.
That's what everybody calls it.
Everybody called it a little clear tippy.
That's the point of it. That's what everybody calls it. But I gotta be a fucking smart ass. Call it an aglet. Fuck me, right?
Holy crap.
So I'm glad we got back to that science, because you know how I like being an asshole. Shit.
What?
Fucking I hate my life.
No, don't.
I do, because I always fucking complain about being ready, and then I do shit and I'm not ready.
You're ready. Don't
So,
stress out.
I hate it. So
What's that for?
let's try that joke again.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck me, right? Damn it.
Wait.
Whatever. It didn't work. So, next joke. Fuck you guys, man. I'm tired of being funny for nothing. It's like my creative genius is going to waste. It's going to waste. Nobody's appreciating my
Forte?
my fucking flair.
Your main?
My flair for fucking comedy.
Oh, man. I appreciate your flair for towels.
It is hot in the Lord's house. Just call me Pastor Blunt. And if you just put that $2 in that bowl, the Lord will thank you for that $5 you was thinking about putting in that bowl. And then that $10 you was swirling around in your pocket. That $20 you were thinking about. I say that $40 that you threw in that bowl. The Lord will thank you. The Lord will love you. The Lord will be there for you when you throw that $100 in that bowl.
But pass the blunt. I only have about $1.50.
We take checks. We take checks, personal checks, consumer checks. We take credit. Whatever you got, son. The Lord takes whatever you got, son. The Lord is here for you. So whatever you can give, I can give it back 1,000 times in prayer.
I got this book of coupons.
I can give it back to you in prayer.
Yes, sir, folks. Well, I hope you guys aren't having as much as a hot-ass afternoon as we are. It's hot up here in New York. It's probably hot in the rest of America.
Hot as bacon grease, sizzling on the backs of pigs.
It's so cruel.
Sue-wee. Sue-wee. Now, a couple of you got turned on when I did that, you fucking perverts. I know you did, but that's beside the point. We're gonna.
Phones got steamy.
It's like, oh, do it again. Do it again.
You know, there's people who are into that. I forgot what it's called, but they speak very low into the cameras and they do certain things like open soda cans.
Yeah, what is that about?
Yeah, I don't know.
What is that about? What's that? I saw a video of that and I was so confused. I was like, what is she doing?
It feels like a hypnotizing trick. Like
maybe like because I got through half of that video and I was like, why am I still watching this?
You were satisfied.
Yeah, she was just like, I'm just opening the soda. Now I'm sipping the soda.
It's right into the mic.
I was like, why am I watching this?
I just got home from work. I'm gonna go sit on the couch real quick. It's so comfortable. What are we? Oh, let me reach over, stretch over, get that control. And hold on, click. Yeah.
Fucking weird.
It's
man.
odd.
Like,
It's odd. It's odd.
It was weird.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Like, you know, if that's your thing,
We're talking about those groups
but
coming together, man. Everybody's
I
fighting
don't
each other.
understand it. I don't get the excitements. I don't get the bam. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't get none of the. It doesn't get, you know. But maybe I'm bugging. Maybe maybe I'm fucking crazy. Maybe I should whisper in your ear. Maybe I should tell you things at close range, like we started this podcast very late.
Our numbers are dwindling now.
Shit. That's funny because I actually pictured it. Like all the subscribers, like bye. What?
Bye, guys.
You're whispering in my ear now, bro. I was like, what are we? What are we doing?
Thanks for stopping by.
Back that shit up. Don't be doing that here. I'm sorry. We're trying new things. Like I was curious. So what do you want from me? So I know we trail off a lot. So I'm gonna go back to our, growing up and raising generations.
Yeah.
It's really different. Very different. So in my day,
Beat your kids was okay.
yeah, you can beat your kids within an inch of his life.
You know how many comedians were saying
As long as you didn't, as long as you didn't hit the face,
Man.
the hands, like nothing visible to the school.
in
like,
the 90s,
they would let you do it.
every comedian they champion beat your kids. Every single body was like, why aren't you doing it? Like, are you
Yeah.
crazy?
I got
Like-
beat.
I got beat too.
I got beat a lot.
Yeah.
Like, some of that stuff I didn't even do. So
Yeah, same here.
so I know what it's like.
Yeah, it was a group beating. I think it was like more militant to make all the kids get it together.
But then, with the mentality that you have with that, you reverse past that to your new generation. You're like, oh, I don't want my kid to grow up like I did, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be beating the life out of him for no reason. But if you really think about it, you didn't get the life beat out of you for no reason. Like you got the life beat out of you to teach you something. You know, like you may have not learned everything, But those beatings was to teach you something.
I guess if like knowing what's necessary and what's not, you know.
Yeah.
Because I feel like even over screaming at a kid all the time, because some people are like, oh, they won't beat the kids, but they think screaming at them all day works.
Yeah.
And like, that shit becomes nothing too, just like beating does. After a while, it doesn't feel like anything.
In some countries, certain parts of Africa, like if you don't do nothing positive with your left hand. So if you reach for food, somebody gonna pop the fuck out of you. Like, so if you get enough pops on that hand, what's the conclusion? Theoretically, don't do it. You know. So the beating taught you something. So you can't. You know, like, even though we did it already, it's already too late. But, like, we raised this new generation where we didn't want to hit them, where we're, like you said, we're yelling at them at the top of our lungs, thinking that's going to help, and these timeouts and pushing them in a fucking stroller, and they're, like, 15. Like, none of that is helping them mentally. It's like, that's just fucking them up worse than what you think that you got fucked up. Like, technically, you're not fucked up.
No, I hate to say this. I don't know the answers, but I can definitely point that shit's not working.
Yeah, it's not. It's not working at all. Because, like I said, you wanna do different than how you were raised, which is understandable.
Want to do better?
Who don't want to do better? Come on, leave a fucking comment if you think you can do better. Like, I don't even care. Like, put it in there. Just if you think that you know everything, you can do better, that's fine. But realistically, when it comes down to reality, smacking you on the face, like, come on. You got to admit that, you know, you got to be truthful. A lie is only going to take you but so far, even though people do it, you know, and they take that little bit of change and they run with it until they get caught, you know?
Psych issues.
But at the end of the day, you got to think constructively, like towards more of the future, like, you know, for other shit, like not just for shit you want. But you know, that's just my thoughts, my opinions. Because I can say I'm a part of that generation. Like I raised my son where I didn't put my hands on him.
Yeah, same with my daughter.
But I talk to him like an adult, like. Not like, yo, my nigga. It's like, I talk to him like consequence and action.
Yeah.
So for every action, there's a consequence. Yeah. Plain and simple. Like, if you push a glass, it's going to fall or something's going to happen to that glass. It's not going to be in the same spot. So, you know, there's going to be a consequence.
That's why I think, like, bonding with your kid as much as possible is where you get the most success later down the line. Because when you bond with them more, you get to know them more. You get to understand their personality. Not just have them around and talk to them whenever. Because when they're, you know, when you need to feed them or whatever. You know?
But that don't sink into a lot of people's head because they too busy.
Yeah. All
Snapchatting and all this shit for the
crazy reasons.
Stunting for the internet.
You know, like my daughter is she's a lot like who I am. Where, like I don't really go well with commands and people like trying to tell me to do something. Like I need to understand why you need me to do it.
Yeah, true.
And I've always been that way. I know that. But as soon as it's explained to me, this is the reason why, because it'll affect this person and that person, and collectively going down this direction. I'm like, oh, okay, that's my bad, y'all. I fucked up. You know, like, keep it moving. Yeah. And I know in my kid, I see it, and anytime like there's that situation, I start telling her, I see the clock working in her eyes, like she's thinking about it. I'm like, oh, and then I'll continue explaining, and she's like, oh yeah, you're right. Oh wow, and then boom. Most of the time, the issue is like resolved. Most of the time, sometimes either she bullshitted me or memory, she forgets.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like in an older generation's eyes, they'll look at you and me like, oh, you know, like turning their nose down, like how you gonna raise your kid like that, you know?
I thought it was just fine.
Yeah,
full of personality.
Exactly, like
healthy. Yeah.
I understand the beatings did mean something. They were for something, but at the same time, you didn't need them. Yeah. You know, Like
work around this.
there's some there's some that need them. I'm not saying that no kid needs them. I'm saying that you can raise a kid without it, but there's some that definitely need it.
Yeah,
Just a couple of strikes. Just a couple of them.
realign there. And
Yeah, so like you're not, like I said, nothing that makes the school act erratic.
Yeah.
Just like maybe a couple chest shots, like a couple leg sweeps. It's like you'll be all right. It's like, you won't break nothing. I swear to you.
Yeah, keep your hands below the neck, under the collarbone, to be exact.
As long as we understand each other, we'll be just fine. You know, and like I said, it's not on some sneaky pervert. You better not tell nobody shit. Like you're the parent. Like
some fear tactic stuff.
Yeah,
like what my mom used to do.
Put
us in the room, in the bathroom if I was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Put me in the bathroom completely naked in the dark in a corner as a little kid.
Really?
How horrifying that shit is.
That's it.
That wasn't one of the worst things. I mean, you had beatings and all that other shit.
I was gonna say,
but that was worse for me, like, because I'm vulnerable in the dark. I'm like,
no, our psychological warfare. my side of the psychological warfare was, she'll act like nothing happened until you get into the shower.
Yeah.
Then you're like, yeah, showering, and then out of nowhere, you're like, remember why I'm beating you now? You're like, no. So, you just get beat. You don't even remember why. Because you already did what you did. You took a shower, you chilling, and then that was, now go to bed. I was doing that anyway. And so, it's different side of the spectrum. I'm on the other side of that coin we was talking about. So, gotta always remember, it's more than one side of a coin.
Yeah.
So just because, you were raised in a certain way, don't mean everybody was raised in a certain way. It's very different for everybody. It's not just about skin color.
No judging, because either way, no matter how it happened, we're all here.
We're here.
We're all here together.
We're here. We're not queer, but get used to it.
We're all here together.
It's just a big old family.
Yeah.
So I know I'm sinking like a fucking ship. But yeah, it's just the differences in that, and like I said, I didn't physically destroy my son, and he gets what I say when we talk. We talk to each other like people. That's how people supposed to talk to each other. Like, you respect me, I respect you. We're people. We're having a conversation.
We're done that way.
You're not an animal. I don't want you have to do this because you don't know any better. It's like I'm not treating you like an animal or a slave. Like, that's weird to me. But there are people that raise their kids like that. That's fine, strictly fine. But it's not something I do.
Well, me, sir.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah. So every generation is different. It's unfortunate, but like you said, the times change with the people. And that's an unfortunate that the laws themselves don't change, because it's a lot of stuff that a lot of laws, that we're still dealing with from the beginning of the laws making.
I don't think anything has really fully got ironed out.
No, not at all. Not in the slightest.
A lot of the different issues that we all complain about or separate ourselves with one another with.
But then when you try to separate certain issues, that's when you start getting. That's when you start seeing who's a gatekeeper or like who's a guardian, like, because you didn't hear from them until you brought this issue up. They
can get called out now, which is nice.
Yeah, but it's still an issue, because why I didn't hear anything from you before I brought this up. What happened? Then it's all made up speech, and I'll give you this shit, and you just eat it. And then we're just supposed to just sit back and eat it, like, and that's is unfortunate.
I'm not gonna eat what you serve me just because you say, "Hey, I'm serving you this."
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go take this then.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it's gonna go.
Yeah, and I'm tired of people doing it. it's not fair. Like, you're not even giving people the choice to do their own research. You're just saying, here's some shit, and it's good for you, so take it. This is all you got.
We're so vulnerable to the smokes and mirrors that they do all around us, between government, enterprise, and influencers. And I'm not talking about like YouTube influencers. I'm talking about like,
yeah, even in the schools.
I'm talking about like celebrities, sportsmen, those kind of folks. You know, we're in constant like pressure with smokes and mirrors of how to be, how to behave. Even if it affects us, even if it affects our liveliness, but we should be happy with it no matter what.
That's ridiculous.
Like, it's kind of crazy.
It's fucking ridiculous. But even in the schools, it's the same way. Like, when I was in school, like, we were still learning about like slavery and the ships and where they came from. Like, I asked my son about that. He told me they don't even teach that.
That's crazy.
I was like, what do you mean they don't teach it? He was like, I didn't learn that. I was like, are you serious?
You know what? It bugged me out. I told you it was an adult when I learned about Tulsa. I was a straight A student for the most part. You know, he was rocking here and there. But one thing that was consistent at all my grades was history. And I was very sharp, and I loved my history class, especially American history. I did not learn about Tulsa, about what happened there, until I was about 30, 31, turning 35. That was only a few years ago.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yo, how could this have been overlooked in American history? How could that have happened? How could you allow something that insane, a whole town, a booming town? I never heard of Black Wall Street. That's crazy. Wiped off right off and never even mentioned.
Yeah.
And that's how indoctrination happens. Exactly like that.
Yeah.
If that was not indoctrination, then I don't know what is.
Yeah.
If you're trying to exclude this information, but yet willing to enter other information about other things that are celebrated and are highlighted for certain aspects of American culture, or certain perspectives of American culture, so to say, you know, then you're not celebrating all of America.
Exactly.
So then you can't call it American history then.
Exactly.
You can call it fractions of American history. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, but you know they ain't gonna do that because they gotta seem proud and seem together and seem strong, but it's all a lie. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It is messed up that innocent people gotta be tortured and gotta die for these lies, for you to do whatever it is that you're doing, because you're not helping anybody. So whatever it is that you're doing is still selfish. So I still don't understand what was the whole point. They still doing it, like I said, still keeping certain information away from people, still making it harder for people to know certain things, and it's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fucking fair.
It's the truth. And, you know, and then denying it doesn't help. Considering it is one thing. Maybe be like, you know, you're skeptical of it. That's fine. I can now take skepticism. Skepticism, I think it's in the form healthy, even if it's skepticism against something that I wholly believe. Because, hey, your perspective might find a hole in this, and I need to know about it if I haven't seen it myself. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I can take that degree of it. But pure negligence to see any of the data that's transpired from all these consequential decisions that's been done in the last 100 years, especially towards certain communities. And it's like, you know, and then judge it when you don't ever leave your community, town of 3,000 people or whatever that number is.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's the only time. That's the only time when the public sees something is when they want you to see it. You know, it's not because it happened. It's because, we need you to help us with this situation publicly because we can't handle it privately.
Right.
So we're gonna make up this story. you're gonna help us, and then everybody's gonna go about their day, and except this person that we're trying to get over on. You know, but nobody thinks about that. They're just hate. They told us to hate,
Yeah.
and that's where we are. No bueno.
That's what I'm saying.
So I try to tell you to sit back, smoke a stack. If you don't smoke, eat an edible. God damn it.
For real.
Like, just
Have an
relax.
edible.
You know?
It's okay to disagree.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's
fun.
cool. You can love your neighbor, man. Yeah, they really, all you motherfuckers on both sides really want to practice sayings from the Bible a lot, and none of y'all want to practice it in action.
Exactly.
Love your neighbor doesn't not mean love your neighbor unless they disagree with how you live life.
And I'm pretty sure that all religions, at the end of the day, speak mainly about peace and togetherness.
I mean, yeah.
We're not doing any of that. Like, not in the slightest. Not even with our own people.
Nah, I think we look for reasons now. Even
Yeah.
there are people who look for reasons just to argue on like somebody's.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, especially when it's hot. It's summertime. Summertime.
Oh, but that's when the angry folks come out.
You stepped on my shoe, motherfucker. You want a piece of me? Like, nah, dude, it was an accident. Oh, no, you dropped my ice cream.
That's stink meaner, right?
Yeah. Oh, no, motherfuckers. But it's real. I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Like, I went to the store to buy some stuff, and and just out of nowhere, like on my way to get to the store, to see two people just fighting for no reason. I'm pretty sure it was about a bottle of water, but I'm not sure why it was about a bottle of water. I'm not sure if somebody stole the water or if he asked them to buy the water. I'm not sure what the fight was about, but at the end of the day, it was about something that could have been resolved very easily.
Yeah. That's funny. I seen that too the other day. I seen like I left work, and between going home and going to work, I witnessed almost 2 fights. Just walking to the train, there was these 2 Chinese dudes arguing. They had their hands up. They were ready to box. They were like shouldering each other, bump each other off while they're talking. Like it was like older dudes. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you like, bumping? And then like the older Asian ladies, like breaking them up and trying to take the dude away. And they were gonna throw down for real.
Nice.
Yeah, fucking anarchists. Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, you got literally, it's not good to fight in public. I mean, it's not good to fight, you know, but if you're gonna do it, just do it. It's like you waiting for somebody to break you up or the cops to come, like, you just look like an asshole.
Just make it worth it.
Because, people can see that.
I just laugh at people now. Like I was always ready to I used to always be ready to have my hands up. Right now, I just kind of make fun of them.
Yeah.
Right there, I kind of laugh at them. You know, it's just fun to me, more fun for me. You know, Justin, rest in peace, taught me that shit, and it's like good shit.
Me and Thrill saw a dude recently that the guys got off the bus together.
Yeah,
which was odd. They got off the bus together. Then out of nowhere, one of the dudes swung. Boom. So right there, fight's on, right?
Right.
They was talking for like 10 minutes. Like, what are you...
After that swing?
Like, you punched me. What are we talking about
the
here?
other dude was like, oh, why you hit me for? I was like, yo, remember the other day? And
but that's not the crazy part. After the 10 minutes of talking, they actually started fighting again. So I was like, all right, but still, where'd the 10 minutes come from? It's like, that you didn't need all that explanation. Like, you swung at me. Only thing I need to know is why'd you swing at me. Like, whether your answer is stupid or a real answer, I'll determine that after you say it.
Yeah.
It's just like, if like after that, I'm still gonna come at you because you swung at me. Right. It's like, what are you doing? Like, it was weird. It was weird. Like, and plus, neither of them. I think one of them knew how to fight because the one that swung first, he didn't put his hands up during the fight, but he looked like he was winning. It's like, so he looked like he had some skills. So he probably initiated the fight. The other kid didn't want to fight, but he just kept initiating it. That probably where the 10-minute conversation came in.
So he was choosing a fight that he knew he could win.
Yeah, he was warming him up maybe. Probably. But that's still wrong. Still
like
wrong. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna have a street fight, do it. don't just have a fucking 10-minute.
If you punch a kid and the kid's not even fighting you back, he's just like saying, "Yo, what are you doing that for?" You might as well just leave it. You already got yours. Just leave.
If you talking about that shit for 5 minutes, you can go.
What the
you
fuck?
don't owe nobody an explanation.
I already snuffed
just
you
walk
out.
off. Like
it wasn't that big of a deal. Clearly,
we was talking about this for too long.
Because
I'm out.
If it was something like crazy, then you just been fucking them up right there. Right?
Yeah. So. Couple seconds at best.
It's crazy how we're trying to like justify.
No, it's flight or fight. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there we go. Pretty sure it's the same thing twice. But it's fight or flight. Like you either get out of there or you stand your ground. Same thing. If somebody's punching you in the face, it's like that's your only option. You either stand your ground and punch his ass back, or you get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
So you talking for 20 minutes. That's an in-between. That's a gray area. So a lot can happen in those gray areas. You know, that's why people don't like those gray areas.
Yeah, I got into a fight with a dude who was driving like an open Mercedes, right? So then he pulls over because we're talking shit to each other. So I walk over to the car because like I'm gonna like snuff you. It was like kind of like the fall time, so I had my hands in my jacket.
Popped him.
Yo, he popped out the car. He came towards me. And then before I could get my hands on my jacket, he wrapped his arms around my arms.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God, because he thought I had a gun.
Oh.
Because he got nervous because what he ended up saying is like, no, you don't. You gotta take that out. You gotta take that out. He held me like I was like, what the fuck?
He pulled my Macy move.
Yo, it was a complete weird situation. I didn't even want to like it completely disengaged me from fighting him. I'm like, yo, what? Why are you hugging me?
He got you, son. He got you. No, he got you.
And then we argued a little bit. Then he just jumped to his car and we drove off. We didn't even fight.
You see?
I was like, this is weird. Shit, the whole situation was weird.
Exactly. Like, you thought it was weird. He thought it was weird. He broke out. That's what I'm saying. Like, a couple of seconds of max. Like,
I went home. I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, still looking at my arms.
That whole exchange was like maybe 20 seconds.
It was probably about that long.
I can guarantee it. So,
it was like the quick, yeah.
So, that's what I mean. Like, if you argue for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's too long. Like, 2 buses passed by. My dude was like,
was it really that long?
I ordered food.
And they were just...
Dude, I ordered food. It's like I ordered food and had time to wait for it to be done.
Crazy.
And so they were still, yeah. And I was like, hold on, something's gonna happen. Watch. So you're like, watch, something's gonna happen. Like it took about, like I said, about 20 minutes, but it happened.
Yeah.
But like I said, it wasn't. Oh my God, you had to see that. Like, nah, it was more like he probably was goating his ass for those 20 minutes to fight, and then he finally got him and just was disrespecting him the whole time. It was like, I felt sorry for that kid.
Yeah, I was living in the P's once. I had this crackhead neighbor, right?
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him K. I don't know. I'm gonna say his real name.
Call me K for crack.
Yeah. So this dude always like asks me for random shit. Right? Every once in a while, maybe I'll do it, and mostly not, because I never want someone to get comfortable like that, right?
You got a glass bowl I can borrow?
Yo, so I forgot what it was. I first moved there. I ain't know, a lot, so I would ask him questions here and there. Then one day, like, I think I'm asking him something, and he's like, yo, let me ask you something. He's like, you want to, if you put 100 down on this code, you could get this much back, and blah, blah, blah. Like, trying to do a flip deal,
I got
right?
You, yeah.
And I was like, nah, I'm good. Right?
Shut him down quick.
I was like, nah, I'm not doing that with you. I'm like,
okay.
nah.
He is a crackhead.
Yeah, get the fuck out. I don't want to, like, on so many different levels. Man. I was just like, nah, I'm good, bro. Thanks for asking. He's like, no, and he keeps pushing it, right? And then as it's looking really nice, I'm like, I said I'm good, bro. And he's like, all right, no more, say no more, right? He walked off. He walks off, yo, and I swear to God, Jess was out. I think she was getting a tattoo or something. I was with my daughter. She was a baby at the time. All of a sudden, I hear this Spanish dude knocking on my neighbor's door, just banging away. Yo, okay, where's my effing money? Yo, what the? Yo, give me my shit. Give me my fucking money. Blah 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 blah. He's cursing up a storm, right? And I'm laughing at home because you got caught, stupid.
Yeah.
Like, hey, come on, what are you gonna get? Crackhead money?
Yeah.
You think you're gonna see that ever? Yo. Then like his I guess K's woman says something. He's like, "Yo, shut up, bitch!" And then like this back and forth.
Oh man!
And then he walks off. Right. Later that night, looking out the window, and sure enough, I see K and the Spanish kid just circling off, K and each other. Yo, K could fight, bro.
Oh,
K
you
could
gave it
fight.
to him?
K dipped on his swing,
Gave him
came
the crack
up,
special.
gave him a right overhand. I swear to God, I'm not lying about any of it. The kid tried to take another swing. K grabbed him, threw him on the floor, and just okey-doked him.
Nice. Gave him that crack okey dog.
It was quick. It was done fast. I was like, oh shit.
I had my hip for the night, boy.
That's what it was.
He was limber, nigga.
He's like, that's why he fucked up. He should have waited the next day.
He should have got his ass in the morning. So he'd have woke up. Oh, I need my fix. I'm low on power.
He really fucked up.
I need my strength.
Yo, K dropped his shoulder and everything came up. Came over. I swear to God, the shit was impressive.
He caught him in the prime of his smoke. That was his spinach. Woo! Started giving it to him.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, bro, you can't mess with an addict when they get their medicine. When you give an addict their medicine, they definitely become superhuman. It's ridiculous. It's scary in some instances.
Fucking funny as fuck too.
Like back in the days, I knew a dude. He actually lived next door to us, and he didn't think nobody knew about it. But he used to be a mover, and he used to go skiing. If you know what I'm saying. So, and like right before he go move something, you hear him.
He used to go to the Adirondacks,
and then this motherfucker would lift like the biggest fucking refrigerator you got on his back, like by himself. He could be like, "Where you want this shit? Where you want that shit?
Really?
Where you want this shit? Couches, all of that shit." He used to do shit by himself. He used to be a professional mover, and he used to take a couple of hits, and he used to move everything by himself. He used to drive by himself.
Yo, you know what? I respect it though, because you're buying. You know, you're supporting your own shit. You're having your own life.
He was a hard worker.
Money.
Yeah,
was he paying taxes.
I respected him for that shit.
What the fuck, man? Let him live. Whatever. He's not. At least as long as he's not harassing anyone.
Yeah, he was definitely a hustler.
Whatever. Okay, he was doing shit by himself. He must have been good at his job.
Dude, well, like I said, when he had his medicine, as long as he had his medicine, he was great at his job. So when he did have his medicine, this shit hurt. That shit hurt. I ain't working today. I ain't doing nothing today. But give him a couple of beers and he moving your whole house for you.
Yeah.
He don't even care. Like, he won't even charge you. You be like,
knew
no,
a guy like
just
that.
Take it.
And I made a mistake of recommending him to a construction job that he's lied to me about for years, and he got fooled thinking that he knew what he was doing. He showed up. I wasn't even at the site, and he did not know what he was doing. I got cursed out.
Nice.
2 different people calling me like, "Yo, Twiggz, what the fuck?"
Why'd you bring this guy?
You said he knows what he was plastering. I think you said he knows how to plaster. I was like, yeah, he said he knows how to plaster. He's like, yo, he doesn't know how to plaster. Like, what the fuck happened? It's like he's plastering over the tape. Anyway, I don't want to get into the details because I know a lot of people don't. But
yeah, they know what
some
you're
folks
doing.
know, yeah. But yeah, he did not know what he was doing. I'm like, why did you lie to me about that for so long? I didn't understand it.
That's serious, son.
He said, no, I'm really a painter. And then he says that shit. I'm like, yeah, I knew you for like 2-3 years, bro.
But he like, in most people predicament, he just said that because he needed to work. So he wanted to work anywhere, just like me. It's been a few times, especially when I started working.
I just thought he was full of shit.
While I was still in high school, I was telling them niggas I work anywhere. I was like, I don't care where it is, I work anywhere. I cook, I clean, I pour shit, like whatever you need, I can do it. They was like, oh, but you 15. So I was like, yeah. So I could do it. That's how I got into my first legal job that I can't legally say the name of, but it had something to do with burgers. It was.
Is it like royalties?
It taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about business and trust in people. Don't ever do that. So.
Yeah, I made some mistakes too.
Yeah, but you're a kid. You're in high school. You're still learning stuff.
Right.
So I'm surprised I learned as fast as I did. A lot of kids, like I said, I've seen today in high school that don't know a lot of stuff that they should know by now.
There's a lot of things that are important for education that they refuse to teach, especially like in the inner cities.
Because they're afraid of what they call
success,
rebellion. Yeah, it is success, but they call it rebellion.
Yeah, not just,
So,
you know.
there's two sides of that coin.
Yeah, I mean, economics needs to be taught in high school. It has to be taught in high school. And it has to be taught, I think, in every grade as an actual like
It
class.
should. Yeah, should be in every grade.
Even if it's like, understanding ways on how to save money, understanding how investments work, understanding what
Because they
certain
do it.
packages and
They do it in Ghana, in Africa. In every grade, they teach them currency. They teach them math, like starting from the first grade. So from the first grade, you already know the metric system. You already know math. You already know the exchange between U.S. money and Ghana cities. So you already 5 and you already know that. Like, our kids need to catch up a little bit. It's like it's a lot of stuff that we don't know.
I think kids should take on learning like robotics or engineering and farming.
Yeah.
I think they should learn horticultural skills, and in the same year learn also like robotics and electronics. I think like education has to be revamped and redone. We can't teach the same curriculum as it stands now because it's not fitting with our time and age.
It does, but that's how you get the split voices, because you got public school and you got charter pay for you
I
school.
think a big problem is government's really involved in education, and then it does not make it a priority at all.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we can't have a stronghold on it and then not prioritize it at the same time.
that's true. That's
Can
true.
you like loosen it up a little bit so that other organizations can really care about it and take control? And also, can you fund it? Teachers are fucking crazy, underpaid, and that's crazy too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. That's why, stripping is an option in certain countries, but that's it's not really supposed to be a go-to, but like I said, everybody's thinking about it right now. They're not thinking about the later. Like, I could get this amount of money right now. And what are you going to do with all that money? It's like, are you going to pay your student loans? Or are you going to buy shit you don't need? Like, what are you going to do with that money that you need it right now, So, like, you always got to have a plan for the stuff you're planning today,
right?
So, yeah, you go want that bag, that's cool. But do you have enough to buy that bag? Or if you do, why are you wasting your money on that bag when you can get something that you can reuse? Like, I don't know, maybe you need a microwave, or maybe you need an oven or some shit. Like, who knows? Like, long story short, it's just you got to be considerate to other people, and I feel like a lot of the planet is very selfish.
I mean, they all think they're doing their part, right? But I think a big problem, again, is that I was saying earlier, the smokes and mirrors that are created all around and between us in so many different ways, besides the way they want us to behave or what they want us to buy and purchase, what they also don't want us to see. So I think it's more importantly what they want to hide in open sight, which is like, honestly, I can't understand how climate change can even be thought of as having skepticism against it. Yeah, maybe there's varying degrees and certain exaggerations that happen, and they will find these reports and scream victory with that, right? But it's like you're seeing one small thing about it, and even that we should be looked at, because even some fractions in that still have roles, and we got to understand how that at least works, but they make things like, for instance, like if you really get into any kind of real field of expertise, mostly any, because I don't know all of them, right? But so as far as one of the ones that I've been exposed to, a lot of the things that like lingo, for instance, is a big one. Like how the speech that they use to describe the work that they do as they do it can be said a lot simpler, or the things that you think are really complicated to do are done a lot simpler, and these locations, like these companies will make it seem like, no, there's an aspect to this. You have to learn and specialize in this and whatever. That's not always necessarily the case. They just change the language up, the speech up, and that's just like a small example of what bigger public images like the talking heads could do, right? They can paint this image, put it out there enough. Even if at first, if the public has a general consensus of not necessarily seeing it your way, if you keep doing it enough, and then putting in this, paying these people to say it, and putting posters in this end to say it, after a while, it starts seeping into consciousness, and some folks start bending, and then becomes a collective agreement. Then it's going to be like, okay, now 10 people believe this in this area because they just are, questioning whatever the status quo is, and it's believing some other bullshit. Status quo is not necessarily a bad thing all the time. So it's crazy that if everything is going good and someone says we got to change the status quo, it could be immediately like criminalizing, right? I don't know. It's like, that's another thing too. We take certain words and we criminalize certain words that never had that kind of meaning before because it's been used with a certain kind of energy. And now, so that we're, besides all these other smokes and mirrors that we're dealing with, we're also doing it to ourselves socially. It's almost like a trap. How do you get out of all that?
It's definitely a trap.
I feel like I'm bumming things out.
No, it's definitely a trap.
We're just all lost souls stuck in this fishbowl.
We are. Yeah. And what'll lighten this mood is if you like, subscribe, and comments, and don't forget to subscribe. But now that that's out the way, I'm gonna give my thanks to each and every one of you for coming out and checking out this little podcast. We're definitely going to have more at a later date. We're not going to tell you when. I already told you when. It's every Thursday. That's when the podcast comes out.
That's when you'll catch us.
Every Thursday.
You'll see us. You'll see a couple of other folks on here. Some regulars, and we'll have some new guests coming soon for you guys.
Yeah, so make sure you come on down, leave some comments so we know who you are. You can say, hi-yo. So I'm one of your hosts, StablestSHADY.
This is Twiggz Rivera.
And this is F Up Radio. Hold up in your ear hole. Signing off. And we will see you in the next episode. Holla holla for $1.